Hello, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all, welcome back to the Bleav in Iowa State podcast with your host Tyler Carter,
And your host, Cody Van Lalo.
Cody, and fans, Cyclone fans. This is part two of our game rewind. Of course, we are going over the classic snowmageddon game last year against K State. Man, this was a game from the start, bro. Like I remember I was at the
Mm-hmm.
alumni bar last year. I'm like, watch Abu Sama run for a touchdown, and then he did. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this was obviously I Bleav this was what thanks around Thanksgiving, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken. It was I mean, most of us, I mean, all the students are at home or whatever. This is, and obviously to put into context, this is coming off like probably one of our worst rushing performances in that season. Obviously, our run game was very inconsistent, and we had
right.
just played Texas, who held us to 9 rushing yards. So a little bit like very disappointing and very shameful for Iowa State. But I mean,
Hmm.
you're going to like I guess like if I was to like try to sugarcoat this a little bit while I'm criticizing the run game and whatever, yeah, I did. They had one of the best D lines in all of college football. It's very difficult to run against them, and it
Hmm.
just really showed in that game against Texas on senior night. But obviously, Farmageddon, no matter how the teams are, whether good or bad, those two teams, Kansas State and Iowa State, we're gonna be very physical against each other. Like it's grown, and I mean on Twitter this last year, especially in basketball, but I'm pretty sure football is gonna be even more crazy.
Football's gonna be even more crazy, and then you think about next year where we start off with them in Ireland in 2025 for week zero. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's gonna even be more have even more vitriol in this rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at this. Let's get into this.
Yeah. All right. So for our viewers on YouTube, you're going to be able to see the game in full. If you're listening onto the streaming or other streaming platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, you'll be able to find these highlight videos. Once again, Thomas Ornish, shout out to him for this 52-minute long video. He does a really good job at capturing a lot of the highlights and almost captures almost the full game essentially. So shout out to you.
Thanks,
So
Tom.
here we go. Yep. So once again, so obviously everybody knows how this goes. So we'll just play it from here. And obviously, first play of the game. You mentioned it. You just mentioned it. Didn't you say something like that they were gonna score a touchdown here?
Yeah, I just had a feeling because if you remember 2 years prior, the first play of the game, Brees Hall scored on a 75-yard touchdown run. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, it's only tradition if they do it here.
All right. We'll see if that happens.
All right.
Not long ago in Des Moines, Iowa, that will carry it the lion's share of opportunities. And look at him go on the opening play from scrimmage. Did we tee that one up? Hello, how do you do?
Well, Timmy, that 71-yarder right there is part of the reason why those two backs are not here today, brother.
All right. So yeah. I mean, you were on the spot. No surprise there. How did you feel when you first what was like going through your mind as this play was happening?
So like you say those types of stupid things, you're like, I was just BSing, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? He actually did it. Are you kidding me?" I was going crazy. I was high fiving everybody. I was like, "That's insane." What was your reaction?
Oh, dude, I was like, it was like, oh, what? Because this game kicked off at like what 7 or 8.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, I was just chilling at home or whatever. I was like, I had no expectations. I just wanted to relax for my Thanksgiving. So this game, I just turned on, and after I saw this run, I was just like, oh boy. This is going to be a long day for Kansas State. If this is how you open up the game against them, you might be able to prosper. You're going to be able to farm the rushing game, like the run game. If you ask me. I was like, oh boy. I
well,
think he might have been a little pissed after that Texas game. He might have been a little pissed.
Oh, he definitely was. And then like the fact that he knew that he was going to get the lion's share of the carries, because we gotta remember, uh, right before this game, Eli Sanders and Cartavius Norton went into the transfer portal, so they didn't make the trip. So everybody was like, "Well, I guess it's Abu Sama time now." So
Yeah.
I mean, he ended up proving that the guys that entered the transfer portal, right. So I mean now look at him now. He's going to be probably the guy that doesn't be getting most of the carries. One thing I do remember about this week was during Farmageddon week. I remember how K State fans were extremely confident in their run defense. It was like, oh yeah, Iowa State only ran for 9 yards. We're gonna shut them down. I remember hearing a lot of that. I'm like, all right, we'll see.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I get it. Like your opponent obviously came up only running for 9 yards, so you're gonna have that little bit of confidence because, like, you can stop them. And again, you get that extra layer of it being a rivalry. But obviously, from the first play, that proved to be incorrect, and it was a rough day for the Kansas State defense, especially against the run game. But
Yeah,
real quick, can we just give an appreciation to all the Cycle fans that went to Manhattan during the snowstorm?
yeah, dude. I gotta shout out my guy, Grant. My guy made the trip all the way down there. He said it was an amazing trip.
Mhm,
That dude is nuts, man. And
mhm.
everybody, but you guys, the Cyclone fans that made the trip down to Manhattan, you guys are some football sickos. With all of us, from one sicko to another, we salute you.
Exactly. Yeah, and then my shout out, I have to give a shout out to Mr. John Walling, he's East Side native. I actually went to the same like high school as like him, and then his son Rory, who used to be on the Cyclones football team as like a special teams player, and he's now I think the special teams coordinator or
On the
coach
coaching staff,
somewhere.
yeah.
Yep, and then of course his like other his other kid, Mary Kate. Actually, we both swam the same sport. She graduated a
Oh,
couple years before I did, so I
yeah.
kind of knew her from that. And obviously, she does videography for the football team, and she does really good work on it. So have to always give a shout out to the Walling family because they're born and bred East Siders and they're born and bred Cyclone fans. So love those people. But back to this game right here. I think this play I noticed something here. So Abu Sama, I mean, this wasn't this is more of a catch.
Nice out in the flat.
And the pass is caught. Nice catch, too.
Look at that finish.
Boy, he high pointed that ball, Spencer, in the flat
Man,
and got it out for a first down.
this
Jacob
was
Parrish, number
nasty
10, with the
right
tackle.
here, bro.
Well, perish the thought here because not only can he catch folks,
Boom. I mean, you talk about putting somebody
Dog.
on the dirt. He just you know what I saw like with this play right here. There was a bit of a running joke that I made where I was like, huh, I didn't know we could farm this late into the year. And then I realized, wait, we are Iowa State. We're the better agricultural school, and we're known for innovation. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody within the College of Agricultural Life Sciences or even in agricultural engineering at Iowa State um, helped Abu Sama test this hypothesis, and it worked out pretty well.
Nah, bro. Abu set the tone in that game, man. Because after that
Yeah,
stiff arm, he's like, bro, I am here. This spot is mine. I am taking it
exactly.
with a force.
Dude,
I love when a running back runs angry, dude.
yeah. I mean, you look out over here now. I just put it behind me, but look at that beauty right there. He
I love it.
he
I
put him in the
love
dirt. I mean, I'm not surprised though. I'm surprised they haven't started growing corn over in Bill Snyder with that happening.
it. Put in work. Put him in the
Yep,
dirt. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, again, that's just sets the tone, and I'm very glad like we came out like playing that way because we needed a game like that. So, I want to ask you a question. Are you
Sure.
familiar with the quarterback at the time for Kansas State? Let me see
Yeah.
here.
Will Howard.
Yep. Speaking of Will Howard, he is now not just at Ohio State. He transferred to Ohio State in the offseason, but he's now announced to be the starter, according to Ohio State head coach Ryan Day. What are your thoughts about that?
So this is gonna be interesting. Because at K-State, he had guys, but he doesn't have the type of weaponry that he does at Ohio State. Ohio State has basically elite athletes at every position. So as long as he doesn't mess it up, Ohio State still should be a good team. But if Will Howard tries to, do too much, I don't know, man. I mean, playing in the Big Ten, and you get, like a couple of notable games, they got to play Michigan, a team they haven't beaten in 3 years, and then they got to play Oregon on the road. Like, so,
Yeah, it's
I
at the
mean,
Autzen Zoo. Yeah, the Oregon game is at the Autzen Zoo.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. As long for me, like with Will Howard, as long as he doesn't mess it up and like he has a loaded backfield with Quinshot and Judkins from Old Miss and Trevion Henderson who came back. I mean, I don't see why they can't be a top team. But as long as he doesn't do too much and just distributes the ball to Emeka Ibuka and all the receivers that they have there at Ohio State, I don't see how they're not a top team in the nation.
I think you've kind of forgot to mention that Ohio State also travels to Happy Valley to play Penn State.
Yeah, so that's going to be a tough environment.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we'll see how he does. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
I think, yeah, I mean, the move, I mean, I think these are words that are going to come from Will Howard himself when he was interviewed. I Bleav it was on 3. He said,
Hmm.
like, it felt nice to be at Ohio State because there's less pressure for Will Howard to be the guy. And I mean, as you mentioned, obviously, Howard's going to have like weapons like Trevion Henderson, Mika Egbuka. So I think that's going to help Will Howard be a better, like, probably be a better distributor and gives him a role that he could be more comfortable in. Because
Right.
I mean, him at K State, it wasn't too bad, but I mean, you could clearly tell that he was not enjoying the fact that he had to be the guy to make the plays. And I mean, sometimes some quarterbacks are just not meant to be the guy. They need guys around him to make him a better distributor and a better quarterback. And I mean, hey, at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you in your college career. And I think Will Howard did that. But Kansas State fans did have some discourse about it, of course. I mean, who wouldn't?
I was paying attention to that. It was basically that Michael Jackson meme where he was eating the popcorn. That was what I was doing with that whole
The
discourse. I
popcorn.
was like,
Yep.
that was
Gotta
me.
love. Mhm. Yep. So yeah, but real quick, like we know obviously, like most people are gonna know snowmageddon for Abu Sama's game, but can we give a shout out to the defense real quick? I mean, look at this. This is the Kansas State obviously driving. They've been driving the ball down. They get to about third and goal. I think this is like what about the 3-yard line, and
Yeah.
the defense is just does a really good job here. Look at it. Well, I'd say those well, and I mean they held him to a field goal, so not crazy.
Was that Drew Surges right there?
Yeah, that's Drew Surges. Yep, Drew Surges, the first man to make contact, and then J.R. Singleton to follow it up. And talk about that. I mean, we've mentioned Drew Surges on this program before, but this game clearly showed me that we have something with Drew Surges. Like, I wouldn't be mad if Drew Surges got prominent minutes because he certainly deserved it, especially after this game.
Oh yeah, man, completely agree. Like he showed me something in that BYU game on that special teams play, that forced
Mhm.
fumble, and then just in this game alone, he had so many electric plays that helped us get certain 3 and outs and stuff. And then I think he got a pick too later in the game.
Yeah, I Bleav so. I mean, yeah. And speaking of the picks, man, our defense, like we were causing a lot of deflections. And I mean, I'd say this too. It was a little bit frustrating that I think we honestly, Will Howard got a little bit bailed out by our defense. Just we weren't able to necessarily catch the ball. And I mean, that also plays like with it being snowy, obviously, the football is going to be a little more moist. So it does play a role into us not being able to get more interceptions. I mean, we ended up with what 1 or 2 picks, but I really think we could have ended up easily with like 4 or 5 picks because Will
I
Howard threw quite a few almost picks.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, because I know Ben Sinnott, their tight end, like he was abusing us in this game. He was
Dude,
catching everything. I'm like,
dude, yeah,
golly.
dude, yeah. I mean, hey, if you that's what you got to do to try to win the game, I don't blame them because they're kind of doing what we usually like to do, and that's utilize the tight end. So Kansas State's just doing exactly what we would do. So while I was very aggravated that we couldn't stop Ben Sinnott, if the fact that we limited Will Howard's throwing to only one player, I could live with that. If we limit it to just one guy and we can lock down everybody else, we'd be in a good spot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
completely
this
agree,
first
man.
quarter was just uneventful. I'd say honestly, outside of the opening touchdown, there really wasn't too much that happened in this quarter. I mean, Miles Purchase actually, making a nice stop here. I mean, you get that stop and just a kickoff. So we're gonna skip over to the second quarter. Real quick. Dude, what did you think about the graphics throughout this game? What were your thoughts?
Dude, that freaking cartoon with
Yeah.
Cy
Yeah,
and
right here. Yeah, right here. Dude. I will say
Cy and Mancat crashing into each other.
yeah.
I love it.
This is a visual. I will have to give it to the Fox people. Whoever made this, they definitely got a pay raise for this alone.
Oh, for sure.
I'd find whoever that person is. I need to find you so that way I can hand you like a couple packs of Ames Lager, please.
Yes. Salute, my friend.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and let's not even talk. I know what exactly is happening here.
Man.
Again, just what? Somebody explain to me how like it opened up 2 quarters in a row. The opening play is a touchdown. Somebody explain to me how. I was
I mean, you look at that again. I mean, it looks like the corners also took a look. If you look at the way the corners came in, they look like they also took poor angles too, because by the time it got to the sideline, there was no way they were going to get him. And you know, Abu has the elite speed to get down the sideline.
Yeah, and the agility as well to get out of a sticky situation. Hold on, because I mean, I look at this play right here. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of analytics here. I mean, look at this. He's surrounded. He's already made one defender miss right here.
Mm-hmm.
So you got number 38 coming up. He goes low and not able to breathe. Like that's not a bad on paper. It's not too bad of an angle to take. Like he's square. He's not able to bring him down. And I mean that was the theme for Kansas State throughout the night. They just were not able to tackle our guys. And then just the ability to outrun him. And I think 41 is that he misses. And then this guy, I assume, is the last line of defense. Would you say he's taking the right approach here? Like if he's like the way his angle looks, it doesn't look too bad as long as
it doesn't look too bad. I think he just bounced off of him.
No, he whiffed the tackle.
Oh, he whiffed. Oh boy.
And then Abu Salma just wins the foot race. Like, I'm sorry.
he was all the way out of bounds.
Dude, AD tackled his own teammate essentially. And I was like, oh boy, this is not going to be a good day for them. All right, this is the even better angle. Look at this. Like, hold on, let me rewind it a little bit. But I mean, right here, at least he's a step behind. But that's just what happens when you run into somebody with the elusiveness of Abu Sama.
Right.
We clearly saw how elusive he was. It just not a great day.
No, okay. I mean, it tells you how much of a weapon he is in the pass game, like with that stiff arm. Like he's the ultimate weapon. And I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna go to the NCAA game, dude. Dude, he is a cheat code in that game.
Oh yeah. I've been playing him. Like I've been playing with Abu Sama, and that's a cheat code. Speaking of NCAA football game, it's been a month now, and I figured out this one thing. What's been like your favorite playbook to run, like offensively?
So I've really only been playing with Iowa State, but I heard I also have tried out the pistol because the pistol is like one of my favorite offenses to run.
Yeah, that formation.
Yeah, we're just with the formation with where the back is, and then just with the tight ends that you have. Like Ben Bramer is also unstoppable in that game. I love it. What's your favorite formation?
Oh, dude, right now I think I'm running it's like gun spread, and then I'm using. I think I've actually tried out, and I'm between two offensive playbooks. I'm between Oregon's and Georgia's.
Oh, Georgia,
Those
what do they run?
I think I've seen a lot more. I think they run like a lot of spread. I think I've seen a lot of jet sweeps. They're a spread offense. They look like it's a spread offense. But from what I've run, and I mean Oregon does the same thing. But I think I like the plays that are drawn up better in Oregon's because I think I could find more quicker passes, like intermediate passes, like over the middle.
Yeah,
And those are the passes that I like to typically do, or I'll take a check down. Those two passes I really like, either middle of the field intermediate pass, or take a drag and just cut up field and get chuck yards. Because sometimes I'll run into situations where I'm going up against a blitz or whatever, or a defense. Some of my deeper routes aren't getting open. Just take the check down, and then I just gain like 15, 20 yards from that.
I love to throw it downfield, man. Like
I've done air raid. Oh, I've done air raid too. Don't worry. I've had games where I've had to run air raid.
dog, those freaking seam routes, especially if you have like Bramer or Daniel Jackson, those things. If you throw it with perfect timing and precision, it will be a touchdown every single time.
Yeah, dude. For me, my favorite route's the wheel route, and this obviously helps because I've obviously seen the Cam Newton video with Clay Matthews. We're talking about the wheel route. I love the wheel route. I don't know why, but I often see success. Like when I get enough protection and my guy gets the step, I just chuck it, and it's on the money. I love those wheel routes, and you can even throw it a little sooner to gain quick yards from your running back.
Right? Yeah.
I love that. But anyways, back to this. Like, before we move on to later in this game, what do you think about our uniforms? Do you think we could have done our uniform combination any better?
Bro, the all whites in the snow, it's just magical, dude. Like I love the cardinal and the white, especially for away games. It's a clean look, man. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. I think it would have been a lot worse if we decided to bust out the white helmets. It would have been way worse.
Oh man.
Oh, dude, just if we went full iced out white, I don't know if I would be able to survive that game. That's how beautiful that would have looked. And I mean, even if it's an NCAA thing where they won't allow us, why don't we just put like a cardinal stripe? We'll just put a cardinal and gold like stripe in the middle of the helmet. Well,
that'd be lit. That would be lit. I would love that, man.
Yeah, even if they don't allow us to do like the full white, it's fine. Whatever. We'll just add a cardinal gold stripe down the middle. Let's see here later on. But just these games, like, we got to get later into the second quarter. I think Kansas State actually was finding a groove here, but anyway. But I mean, I just found the hit. I mean, this is right before, and this is once again Drew Surges. This is another case of Drew Surges making a huge play for us, and. Yeah, hold on. Let me see. Yeah, right here. Actually, that was the bad pass. So here we go. I think this should be it. So they were actually running. I think it's DJ Giddens. But man.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He laid down this hit stick. And that is DJ Giddens. Just this. When I saw this and I saw Drew Surge, I'm like, okay, yeah. This guy's gonna be a quarterback. He lays after that gain. I mean, yeah, well, I think we did give up a touchdown here. So in retrospect, it didn't do too much. But, I mean, it just showed that we meant business in this game. It just showed we meant business.
Drew Surges has a special place in my heart. He's another Chicagoland product, St. Charles North product.
I see.
So, yeah. So
the pipeline from Illinois to Iowa State. That's
it's grown in the last decade, man. We got some good football talent here.
Man, and I know obviously Matt Campbell would want to grow the Iowa, like the state of Iowa to Iowa State pipeline, because that's a pretty important pipeline.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at the 2025 recruiting class. I believe there's 7 out of the top 10 players are committed to Iowa State. So, I mean, you look at that there and you see that within the last few years, Iowa State has been winning those in-state recruiting battles in the state of Iowa.
Yeah. So we're going to go to here. So this is going to be a little bit later, give up a touchdown, but this was Surprisingly, this wasn't a touchdown run, but I thought it was going to be for a second.
I mean, everybody did. You're like, hey, another touchdown?
Dude, yeah, I know. I'm like, the only reason it wasn't 21 actually was like deep enough, but Abu Sama just once again gaining massive yards on the ground. And I mean, I think to this day, our run blocking was actually beautiful. Yep, another stiff arm. I'm surprised I didn't get called a face mask, but no questions. I'm not gonna question it anymore.
Right.
Like when there are certain calls that like you wouldn't think they would let fly, but they do. You just don't ask questions. The less questions asked, the better.
Right.
All right, just going through here. There really wasn't in much. We weren't able to convert there, but want to highlight the defense once again because here I think was another stuff on the defensive end. Would you say that it was who was it? I think Caleb Bacon had himself a pretty solid day. As
Caleb Bacon had a hell of a game this game.
Yeah, and there's some pretty good play by Jeremiah Cooper. I mean, I think K-State they were obviously looking for the PI, but I think Cooper was trying to play the ball, so I see why they wouldn't call that.
Right.
All day. I mean, just great coverage. Man, I thought that was gonna be picked by Caleb Bacon. I thought he was
gonna... it, bro.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just the way. Like, I mean, what more can you ask other than the pick itself? Yeah, and here's Ben Sinnott. Dude was cooking us the entire game. I was just like, this man right here. It's gonna be because of him. Like, it's gonna be because we were getting cooked by the tight end.
He was cooking us all game. He's gonna be a problem in the NFC East. He's playing for Washington, so my Cowboys are gonna have to face him twice a year now. So,
because wait, didn't you guys? I forgot. Did the Cowboys add anybody on defense? Because I feel like you might have.
We got that Carson, the corner from the Leo Fowl guy from Notre Dame, and then we got a corner in the 5th round.
Okay, you got somebody from Notre Dame, and was he a linebacker or defense?
He was a linebacker. Yeah, Maris.
Okay, yeah, Notre Dame. Wasn't that the? Yeah, that was the same school as was that another former Cowboy linebacker you guys used to have a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Was it
Jalen Smith?
Yeah. Because I remember him being paired up with Leighton Vander Esch, and I remember that was a solid linebacking duo for a couple of years down in Dallas.
Oh yeah. So they produce linebackers, they produce linemen. So it should be interesting to see how he matches up against Ben Sinnott.
Yep. And speaking of Notre Dame, real quick, I saw a thing where they talk about like being tight end university, and oh boy, that caused quite a stir.
Oh yeah. Especially with the Hawks.
I mean, like, who wins that argument? Let's be real. Who wins that argument?
I mean, I guess it honestly depends on what you base it on. Like, it's like if you look at the most popular players, you would probably have to say Iowa.
Because, I mean,
George Kittle,
TJ Hawkinson,
Noah Fant. You got the guy from on the Lions. I forgot what his name.
Yeah, that was hot. Yeah, that is TJ Hawkinson because.
No, he's on the Vikings now. There's another guy that came out.
Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah. Let's see. But I mean,
yeah, his name's escaping me, but yeah.
But I mean, even for us being Iowa Staters, like we have to like know that like between all like the schools at Titan University, it's like kind of like a indisputable. If you were to ask me who it is, as much as I hate to say it, is Iowa. It's Iowa. Like
it's Iowa for sure. It's Iowa for sure.
Notre Dame, you have no room to talk about Titan University when you don't even have like 3 of the best tight ends in the country.
Now, if we're talking about offensive linemen, yes, it'd be Notre Dame.
All right. So yeah, back to the game. We kind of went on a little tangent there, but surprisingly, this touchdown does not come from Abu Sama. This time it's from our boy Jalen Knoll. Catches it on just a quick like in route, and he's just gone. I mean, Tim Brando was calling it. I mean, to quote Tim Brando on this touchdown, he left the Kansas State defense null and void.
Yeah, I mean, like let's talk about Jalen Noel for a second. This is a guy that sort of had a struggle his first few years. Feels
Yeah.
like he sort of had the yips where he looked like in like certain situations
hmm
and certain like really big play situations he was dropping the ball, but like
But
we
I think
now but I think like emerged as a guy that you can go to and be reliable in this
mhm.
offense, and he showed it like this whole season, especially in this game.
Right. Yeah, and we look at the route here. It's very simple. I mean, I think what they call this zone coverage. Like, it was a zone or man by Kansas State.
This is
Okay. I mean, look how as soon as look how fast, how quick Rocco gets the ball out. I mean, he already beat his defender right here. He already
that's
burnt one of the Kansas State defenders. That's just
man.
I. If you're a defender and you get burnt like that, I don't know what I don't know what you do. Like, what do you do?
I mean, you can't do anything because that was a great ball by Rocco, and that was in stride. So like
Yeah.
when a ball is in stride like that, bro, there's nothing you can do. It's like dang, bro, he's gone.
Yeah, it's like the only way you can beat that is like you anticipate like that route, but just the quickness and the ball placement by Rocco. And I mean, again, this showed that Rocco Beck was clearly our QB of the future, and I'm
And
very
and let's also add, Cody, that that was a beautiful ball fake by Sama. Like
Mhm.
so that froze the linebacker or
Yeah,
whoever was covering in the middle.
yeah,
And
and that's the thing again with like having a successful ground game. This is something that we were inconsistent with, but when it works because you
right,
condition the defense to worry about the run game because they already put up 2 touchdowns on you from the ground and more. So you kind of are conditioned to play more up to anticipate and stop the run, but that
right,
opens up the play action, and
right.
that's kind of one of the things that we love to really do is establish the run. And we did it really. Granted, it was in the snow, but still, we did a really good job with the run game this day.
Yeah, this is probably one of the best rushing performances in Iowa State history, in my opinion.
Yeah, outside, yeah, this and BYU, like we said it on the last episode that BYU was like the perfect game. This game, I'd say snowmageddon was up there because this was even worse conditions.
Well, I mean, you're gonna like it's crazy that the when we look at the when it's time to look at the box score, the stats are staggering in this game, man. Because if you really look at the stats, Kansas State really should have destroyed us in this game. But we hit
Mhm.
all of our plays, dude, were from like 50 plus yards out. It was
Yeah,
not it's some I've never seen it before.
yeah, and then unfortunately, right after that Jalen Noel touchdown, we did give up a QB rush from it was a QB draw, I Bleav, to Will Howard, so he was able to get into the end zone, and then they actually did go for 2, which they successfully got.
Hmm.
So that puts Kansas State up by 7 with about 6:30 to go in the third quarter. And I mean, let's see here. Oh, and yeah, from the first play, we were trying to open up like. I mean, going to Jalen Noel again. I don't blame us going for him again because I mean it worked. So, and hold on, before we get to this, can we take a look at this stat line real fast? You're telling me that up to this point in the third quarter, Rocco Beck only threw the ball 7 times.
Man,
What? That was
that's
the most amazing part is he didn't even need to do anything. He basically it was like it's the epitome of letting your running back do everything while your QB just sits on a lawn chair and cracks open a beer. That's basically what Rocco Beck did.
Yeah, dude. Like he only ended up having like 230 yards passing total in this game because when the running game's working, it was basically a balanced attack. This is basically a probably Matt Campbell's dream where we have 250 yards
Yep.
passing,
Mhm.
250 yards rushing.
Yeah, and I mean again another Abu Sama run, getting us those yards. Yeah, getting those yards was key. Quick shout out to Steve O'Klotz. Gotta love it when our tight ends get involved. But I mean, yeah, we did basically what we need to do. We didn't do anything too horribly on this drive, I Bleav. That's a really good. That let me see. Is that that I think that's Steve O'Klotz. Yeah, shout out Steve O'Klotz, man. The rival of the fullback.
Yes, sir.
And they're, I mean, here's the, dude, I don't even know. What am I supposed to say? I mean, he just bounced off one of the Kansas State defenders for, what is that? His third touchdown in the game.
Well, you remember this was a touchdown where the defender pushed him and he didn't even try and tackle him. He just bounced off.
Yeah, that's what I was
like
saying.
A pinball.
Yeah. I mean, but look at that, look at our blocking here. That blocking is beautiful because it opened up the exact hole that we needed in order for us to get Abu Sama in that position to run. Jim Boniface, Easton Dean, and I mean, all you gotta do is basically beat this one defender, makes him with the tackle. And then right here, this is what you were mentioning. Lee, it's boosted him. My guess was he was trying to he was trying to just throw him off his balance, but he accidentally put him in stride. So that did not end well for you, K-State, and that's his Abu Sama's third touchdown of the game.
Thanks, K-State. Another thing that I wanted to add in that, man, is that, man, we could have went through those holes, bro. That thing was gigantic. Did you see that?
Yeah, dude, that's like the epitome of parting the Red Sea. If you ask me. I'm just like, what more can you ask out of your offensive lineman? Like, what can you ask more than to open up a hole that big for your running back?
It's ridiculous, bro. I was still in awe when I saw that live. I'm like, holy crap.
If we were to have if we can get that more consistently in our games, we would be, oh God, we'd be in a great spot. That's basically the one thing that we need to, that if you were to fix one thing for this team, and I know we've harped on it, Iowa State's harped on it for years, is fixing that O-line. I know our fans are definitely, but I mean, we'll have to see. We get glimpses of it, but that's kind of the thing that sucks. Is we only get glimpses of great things from our O-line, only for us to not have it consistently. And that's going to be the one thing I would love to see more. I need our O-line to absolutely pancake anybody that comes for either one, our running back, or especially our quarterback. Because I mean, they did a really good job, of partly not getting Rocco Beck killed in the backfield. And it's a kind of it's a two-way street if you think about it. Because Rocco Beck obviously can. A lot of it was Rocco Beck eluding the pass rush, but also our O-line was able to get Rocco Beck enough time for him to go through his reads, find the open read, and put the ball where it needed to be. So,
well, the thing is that the offensive line is very, very good in pass blocking. The problem with the O-line is sometimes they can be inconsistent in run blocking, which I think will be better this year. I think you're going to see in this offensive line, I think there are going to be a lot less games where the running game is going to be inconsistent. I think it's going to be a lot more steady this year.
Yeah.
So at least you're not going to have different things where you have 234 yards rushing run game and then 9 yards and 300.
Or we saw at the Liberty Bowl where you had 0 rushing yards by 4.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that this year.
Yeah, I think we'll be a little more balanced. And speaking of our passing game, Jaden Higgins, have to give a quick shout out to Jaden Higgins in this game because he got us some pretty good passes. Beautiful spin move, and just takes somebody's ankles. He sent that defender into his own sideline. I'm talking he might as well have gone right to the medical team and get his ankles taped up right here. Just a little hesitation. Set him all the way to the bench. Sheds 2 tackles, which I like. And then, right out of frame. Just sends, I think that was number 20. He sent that man right out of frame.
He sure did.
Yeah. Somebody check on him. Get the medics.
Was this one where he scored the next play?
I think so. I think this might be it right here. Yeah, this might be it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He abused
right in his
that
face.
Corner.
Yep. Used the corner perfectly right in his face. Beat the defender.
Beautiful throw by Bracco.
Put it right where it needs to be. We got to look. Shout out Carson Hansen picking up the extra rusher right here. I mean, it was a 5. Was that? Yeah, it was only a 4-man, but he picked up the rusher here, which was great.
Great blitz pickup, yeah.
Yep. And then Jaden Higgins beats number 20, who he had just taken the ankles of, and beats him again. He cooked number 20 in that drive.
Bro had to step on him, yeah.
Yep. It's basically he had him as if you were playing Mario Kart, and not only do you throw you threw a bunch of bananas in his path. I love Mario. Yeah, it was funny. Thinking about the football, I just listen. I'm just thinking about how many football players are actually dating volleyball players. This was brought up on like a Williams and Bloom. They just mentioned it, and it was funny to think how many. Like I think there was like two. I know at least two
Yeah,
football players are dating volleyball players, and I actually know, I know both parents, and I actually know the two volleyball players really well.
that's insane, man.
Yeah, and that's what happens when I go to a bunch all these volleyball games. It's just what happens.
Hey,
And it looked like well, real quick. Speaking of volleyball, we just announced our volleyball program just announced that they're getting two of their matches nationally televised.
really?
Yeah. So the two matches are going to be Iowa State going to Kansas to play the Jayhawks on Wednesday, October 23rd. That's going to be on Fox Sports 1.
Oh,
So
that's
that's going to be. And then on that following Saturday, we host Kansas State at Holden Coliseum. I think that's a noon game, and that's going to be on ESPNU. We'll talk about that. Back-to-back nationally televised games for our volleyball program.
That's going to be a much needed exposure for this up and coming volleyball program. I'm really
and especially to grow the game of volleyball in general.
Oh, for sure.
That's been growing. All right, back to football real quick. Back to football. So I think okay. Yeah, this play right here. I mean, I don't know what. Oh wait, no, this wasn't it. I'm thinking of a different play, but I mean, this was one of the rare times Kansas State stops the run game. Oh yeah, here it is. I Bleav. No, it's not. God, I keep thinking of the Jalen Knoll play. I don't think it's at this point. Yeah, no. Was it this drive?
I think it might have been this drive. It's coming up, I think.
Yeah, because I mean, Kansas State finally could stop our run game. They could finally stop our run game, right? So you think you're confident. It's a 3rd and 16. You can get off the field. Say how to Jalen Knoll and pause it right here. If you had no prior knowledge of what happened in this play, tell me what you think would happen if you had no knowledge of what happens on this play. Like, what were you thinking?
I mean,
right
there's two guys, so it's like, all right, well, he is going to
actually
get
no.
stopped.
There's 4. No, there's 1, 2,
yeah,
3,
4 guys. Yeah.
Oh,
so
actually,
it's like, okay.
And then there's a 5th right over here. So it's like, when you saw this, did you think Jalen Knoll was going to make anything out of this?
No.
Unfortunately for Kansas State, he did. He just darted down. He darted down the sideline. I was like, how did he get out of that? I was just so confused.
Cody, we got to talk about the impressiveness, the impressiveness of the jump cut. That jump cut and the wherewithal with Jalen Knoll to have to know and
where
have
he is on the
field. Yes, the field awareness, dude, to even pull off that amazing jump cut, and then to have the speed to just take off like that. That is insane. Like,
also got to give a shout out to Ben Bramer real quick. I mean, he got a very important block. And he I think it was almost like a screen. It's almost like a screen in basketball. He actually got 2 or 3 guys in one with that block.
Wow.
He got 3 of them. He basically set a multi-man screen like these boys were playing basketball. I'm pretty sure TJ Osborne would have been proud of that one.
Oh yeah, dude. Me and Eric were talking about this exact same play on the show, and just talking about with the unfortunate Daniel Jackson injury, how everybody is underrating Jalen Knoll. I'm like, bro, Jalen Knoll is going to be a top target, bro.
Like he's going to be that perfect slot receiver. He's the perfect slot receiver.
He's your go-to guy now in this offense. Like he's your He's your all reliable.
Yeah. You've got obviously your deep threat with Jaden Higgins. I think maybe even Eli Green. I need to see more. I think Eli Green might be that second deep threat. But would you say?
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll be a deep threat for him.
Oh, not to be Isaiah Alston.
Yeah, Isaiah Austin is probably going to be more like a more like a probably like a Hakeem Butler because they're like the similar body size
Yeah.
and bulk.
Hmm.
So I think that wide receiver 3/4 is going to be an interesting position to watch um, upcoming this season. But man, yeah, just back to that play real quick. It's just I'm still amazed by that jump cut and just the fact that he still had room to even make that pull off that move is sick. That was sick.
Yeah. Again, right. Yeah. So you've got about that much space. And then that jump cut plants these two defenders right here. You already got this one leaning. And Jalen Knowles is able to plant these two defenders in concrete shoes, even for that split second. That split second is all Jalen Knowles needed.
Bro froze him.
Yep.
Bro froze him like that. He's like, oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And then here's Ben Bramer essentially setting up a screen. So he's got those two defenders, and then he got the third from from the collateral damage. He got the third defender as collateral damage. And even Daniel Jackson, he was ready to box out too. Even he was ready to he looked like he was about to box out to grab a rebound.
Yeah, man. That's absolutely insane, bro.
We really just really merged the football with basketball in that play.
Absolutely amazing, man. I was speechless. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
And then and then I mean, our defense continued to lock down. Like they knew the job wasn't finished. I'm wondering if this is the so basically throughout this entire game had been like a lot of like missed opportunities for our guys to like get like turnovers. But I mean, we still but I mean, yeah, right. I thought that was another one. The Miles Purchase read that perfectly, just could not come down with it.
Yeah, man. He had
just
a great year
lot just a lot of missed opportunities for those interceptions. And I mean, they're just continuing like Kansas State trying to get back into this. I wonder if it's got to be later in the game.
The Caleb Bacon interception.
Almost, yeah, we had that one. That was JMO. That was JMO Patton. He almost got a pick. Yeah, he almost got a pick as well. So our guys were ball hawking basically, and that's just I love that. I love when like your defenders are looking to get the ball and create turnovers. So I think that's going to be one thing that's going to be huge for this defense is can we get more turnovers? Can we create more turnovers?
Oh yeah, I think that's the key. Like, I said it. In the defensive preview, if we can, because we were tied with Alabama for a turnover margin with +8. So if we have a positive turnover margin, and if we can get interceptions like we were with Jeremiah Cooper, that's what really with that safety tandem or safety trio. I think we'll be able to force turnovers.
Yep. All right. So later on, I might have skipped that. This was an important stop. Like obviously, you prevent the touchdown, and I mean. Will Howard, scrambling, obviously trying to buy time, and then just well played. That was great coverage by our defense. Oh boy, and I think that was the moment, like that helmet smash right there. I think that was the moment he's like, "All right, I'm leaving. I'm going to Ohio State."
Yep.
And then Miles Purchase making a perfect play on that. He just swatted it down, gave the receiver no chance, and obviously Matt Campbell was like, "Yep." That clip of Will Howard, we really broke that man. We really broke him.
You think about freshman year where we beat him 45-0. So he was already already traumatized from that beatdown that we gave him freshman year.
Yep. And Iowa State won that game, and that put us, and that's a great cap. Like for even how like that end of year stretch went for us. It was great to pick up that win over Kansas State, pick up a win against Farmageddon, and just beautiful. All right, is it time that we take a look at the box score and break down the stats?
Time we look at the box score. So we're gonna look at this. Rocco Beck 8 for 12, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns, 98.5 QB rating, dude.
Yeah,
and then
he did not need to sling the ball like that much.
Yeah, dog. So that's absolutely crazy to me. And then, of course, Abu 16 carries, 276, 3 touchdowns. Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Receiving 3 for 160. Jalen, no, 3 160, 2 touchdowns. Most of it
Those
came
two
off the 82.
TDs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
those TDs. And then obviously Jaden Higgins. He got us like the short like yard wise the shortest touchdown yard wise. Think of that.
Right.
Your shortest like touchdown was from outside the end zone, was 33 yards.
Yep. And then
We only ran like what, 1 or 2 plays in the red zone.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think we ever. Did we even run a single play?
I don't even think we ran a single play in the red zone, dude.
It's crazy.
Like you look at like the total plays in this game, and I Bleav Kansas State ran like here. We're gonna look at the team stats real quick because these team stats right here are staggering.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this: 10 first downs to Kansas State's 32.
Total yards are a
488.
little similar.
497 with 10 first downs? Are you kidding me? Look at the time of possession.
I was gonna say the time of possession is crazy. Kansas State had the ball for about three, like a little under 3/4 of the game.
Yeah,
and
like
they lost.
Like if you ever want to look at a head scratching game, this is the one. Like this to this, and look at this. This was the key. Yards per rush, 11.2 to 3.9. That was the game right there. When you get basically a first down, a rush, like you're gonna win again a lot of games. And then and then they had to throw the ball 48 times. The fact that K-State threw the ball 48 times in the snow, like that says something to me, bro. Like, but I'm still in awe. Like when I looked at the score, dude, it's crazy to me. I still don't understand how we won this game, man. For real, like this is probably the most head scratching win, one of the most head scratching wins in Iowa State history, bro. Like I still, I'm in awe. Like I don't know.
If you were to ask me, that's basically Farmageddon because you don't know what you're going to get in Farmageddon. You're either going to get a very like low scoring, gritty dogfight like we saw in Ames 2 years ago, or you're going to get something like that, an offensive shootout, even in the snow.
Right.
You don't get anything in between. And to this day, Iowa State fans, we continue to haunt Kansas State with it. They don't want to accept the fact that like it still lives in their head rent free, but we know it lives rent free in their heads. We know they're still haunted by it. We know they're still traumatized by it. Like they can deny that all they want, but we know it haunts their dreams every single night. They better hope that when it's November 30th, they visit Jack Trice Stadium for Farmageddon on Iowa State senior night. You better hope there is no snow blizzard anywhere near the area.
And
You
we're
better
gonna be
hope.
wearing those all black uniforms too. Can you imagine if Abu torments them again? Like one of the most like coping tweets that I saw. They're like, "Oh yeah, well, K-State is 26-9 in the last 35 meetings against Iowa State." I'm like,
Yeah.
you went 26-9 in 35 years, and you losers are still have an all-time losing record to Iowa State. Like,
I ain't even say what, like, hey,
really?
the numbers don't lie. The numbers do not lie. The records don't lie. So you tell me. And then for them to cope with like the Abu Sama game, they keep saying it's fraudulent because look what happened the next week against Memphis. I'm like, okay, yes, that did happen. Did that suck? Absolutely. That sucked to watch. That was miserable. But unfortunately, you were not Memphis. You were Kansas State. You were the ones that got ran all over. So sorry, buddy.
Right. So wouldn't that make
I don't get
your
why they
run?
like. What is it? What is up with bringing up other teams that don't involve us? like either us or like either Iowa State or Kansas State in order to boost up your arguments. Like, well, Memphis simply had a better game plan than you did.
Well, yeah, they knew what we were gonna do. They knew that we were gonna try to eat off of our last performance. But like as you know, we should have learned our lesson with our running game being inconsistent. So I mean,
Yep.
I think that's something that we're gonna have to learn as an offense. But I think Mouse has everything under control. I think Mouse will do great this year.
I'm honestly ready for this offense under Taylor Mauser, and then for that O line under Ryan Clanton's second year. With what I've been seeing at Falk, like what I've been seeing on Twitter and whatnot for the offseason, I'm honestly very ready to see this team like absolutely pancake everybody that stands in our way.
Yeah, man. All right. So this was a great episode, Cody. So thank you, fans, and everyone, for reliving this classic of a game against K-State, Farmageddon, Snowmageddon 2023. Join us next week as we break down the whiteout game. We're going to talk about basketball on the hardwood. We're going to talk about the 2023 win against KU. That's going to be a fun one to break down. And also, I'd just like to say, with these rewinds, you want to make sure that you go to our YouTube page, Bleav in Iowa State Podcast. So join us on there. Watch our other video content as we record video content for every single podcast. So find us on YouTube at the Bleav in Iowa State Podcast. Also, follow us on TikTok at Bleav in Iowa State Podcast, on Facebook at the Bleav in Iowa State Podcast, and on X and Twitter at the Bleav in Iowa State Podcast. That's where you can find us. Or just you can find me and Cody. I'm that side tie guy, and he's at Sony Lee Muse or Muse.
Yep. Don't worry, guys. It'll be Matt. I'm already back to the Matt Campbell impersonator. That username was courtesy of the Olympics, and yeah, just search up Matt Campbell impersonator, and you'll see it. You'll
see him. You'll see him. So, any questions? Reach out to us. Otherwise, thank you for joining. And for Tyler Carter,
from Cody Vancilillum,
this is the Bleav in Iowa State Podcast. Go Cyclones.
Go State.